Here we go again, and we're not even done with part 1. That's how much I'm nitpicking on him.
If you mess up once, you have to start all over again. Can't fuck around with this math game.
It's like taking the ACTs.
Now, in order to restart, you have to complete the equation. But if it's going to be wrong anyway, then what's the point of completing it? Now, if you do skip an equation, you cheer like you accomplished something.
Alright, I accomplished something. What's my prize?
So that's enough of this garbage.
That's enough of this garbage. Part 2.
Donkey Kong Country, a Super Nintendo classic.
Why are you bitching about it?
He's not. He's showing what a great game it is. You really are doing these commentaries the first time you watch the video, are you? I mean, if you wait a few seconds, you'd understand what he was doing. And, if you waited even longer than that, you'd know that Gamedude both complained about it and complimented it.
Donkey Kong and his best buddy Diddy Kong barrel blast their way through treacherous jungles, dangerous waters, and spooky mines to recover their stolen bananas. The graphics are impossibly amazing for Super Nintendo. Music is outstanding, controls are nearly perfect, gameplay is genius, and it all shines even brighter with that triumphant Donkey Kong atmosphere. Can't get any more Donkey Kong than this.
I know I'm being a little nitpicky, but in a lot of videos you're saying, can't get any more insert characters game here than this.
Check this out. Am I seeing what I think I'm seeing? Are you kidding me? I don't believe it. Look! 2 Donkey Kongs!
Oh my god, is that a glitch? Because it looks...
Chances are, it probably is. I mean, that never happened to me.
There's really no point having all these cranky cabins. They're annoying, and you just end up skipping them anyway. If you need help, read the guidebook.
Okay, I will admit, I hate Cranky Kong too because of how rude he is, but some people may not have a guidebook. I mean, I got my copy off the Virtual Console.
Don't these levels look like Ewok villages? There's so many illusions. Lions, green skulls, and look, the trees have eyes. See you later, alligator. The end? Oh, it's not over yet. In a while, crocodile. Now it's over. Donkey Kong Country 2, as brilliant as the first, is an awesome adventure through pirate ships, volcanoes, and roller coasters. The Thornbush levels are fucking dreamlike.
Oh my gosh, I just had a dream where I commentated on myself over Tdak1128 on Gamedude's Donkey Kong review.
Donkey Kong Country 3, as brilliant as the second, is a tubular journey through giant waterfalls, rocky mountains, and freezing snow. Damn, this music's nightmarish. Hey look, a Nintendo 64 in a Super Nintendo game. Anyway, Donkey Kong's ape-napped. Again. Oh, and Diddy Kong's ape-napped. Now how can you have Donkey Kong Country games without Donkey Kong?
Read the subtitle. The subtitle for the second one is Diddy Kong's Quest, and the third one is Dixie Kong Double Trouble. Tdak1128 will say something similar to this later in the commentary.
These might as well be Diddy Kong Country and Kiddy Kong Country.
Don't you mean Dixie Kong Country instead of Kiddy Kong Country? I mean, Dixie Kong is the star of Donkey Kong Country 3, not Kiddy Kong. And yes, if I make this part any longer, I'm worried my computer might freeze up. I mean, this happened when I was trying to upload my entire first commentary in one part, so I'll continue this. Oh no, I'm not finished with you yet. We're going on to his next part.
You should be able to play as Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong in all of them. Why do they keep getting ape-napped? King K. Rool wants to exchange them for their bananas. Now, why does a giant crocodile want to steal their stupid bananas so badly anyway? What's he gonna do with them? Rule the world? They're just bananas!
Well, bananas to a monkey apparently. Kinda like a necessity, so I think you'd freak out if you lost your computer now, wouldn't you? Because you wouldn't be able to look at any furry porn.
How do you know he looks at that stuff? Yeah, thank you so much for ruining the joke he was trying to make.
Besides, they'd rot before he ever got them anyway, so leave the Kongs alone and go pick your own fucking bananas. You know what would have been nice? Donkey Kong Country 4. But no, instead, we just had to get a bunch of crappy ports.
Actually, Gamedude, Donkey Kong Country Returns kind of plays like a Donkey Kong Country 4. If you did your research, you'd know that Gamedude's review was made before Donkey Kong Country Returns was even announced in Japan. Do your research! I may not have played Donkey Kong Country Returns, but I have heard about it, and I've also seen gameplay footage of it. Also, it wouldn't hurt to elaborate on why the Game Boy Advance ports of the Donkey Kong Country games are bad. I have to skip the next few minutes because I don't want my account taken down because I don't want to violate the copyright law. They're not that copyrighted. Splicing in the video, but fast forwarding the parts that I don't need to say anything about.
Now let's talk about Donkey Kong Country, Legend of the Crystal Coconut. Oh no, I saw that movie. Just for fucks and giggles. It's a pretty decent movie, but some things don't make sense. To know everything, you must give up everything. To know everything, I must give up everything. Why must you give up everything, fucking bitch? I think the Gamedude is probably looking for something more important than that, DK. Wow, I know it. What's more important than my title? The crystal coconut for one. Holy fuck, what's the crystal coconut? That's it. I have to keep the crystal coconut away.
So the crystal coconut by itself is everything because it's most important. That doesn't make any sense. Isn't everything supposed to be everything?
I think that Diddy Kong must have thought that he meant everything as in something that means everything to him. Like the crystal coconut.
You know, this movie really is brilliant.
Not really.
Again, it's his opinion. And by the way, when he says brilliant, I think he means brilliant as in funny.
He stole his throne. That's so random, it's hilarious.
No.
A recently lost memory can be restored by... How, Prince? How?
Oh, come on. Why ask when he's 1 microsecond away from the answer?
Gamedude? Where have you been for the last century? People do that all the time.
On to his part 3.
I won't be able to show all of the video footage from Gamedude's next part, because Gamedude constantly revises his videos and takes out some parts, so I'll just use what I found.
Donkey Kong 64 was Donkey Kong's triumphant leap to the third dimension. This mighty adventure is as fantastic as any Donkey Kong Country. However, the camera can be annoying at times, there's a lot of aimless wandering and backtracking, and there's too many items you have to collect. Look, why can't I pick up these red bananas? Well, the characters can only collect the items of their color. So I have to go all the way back to the barrel and switch to Diddy Kong, then go all the way back to collect the bananas. This gets very irritating, especially later on in the game.
Yeah, especially considering the fact that most of the barrels are like 10 steps away from the bananas.
How did King K. Rool go from this to this? And why is his left eye so big?
I'll admit it is pretty creepy, but the reason his left eye is so big is because he's a mad scientist.
They should both be the same size.
Not really.
It's ugly.
Like you.
What? I just collected my first banana. This is my second? Wait, I still only have one? What's going on here?
I'll just continue this in part 3. I'm sorry these are getting kind of boring. I mean, she just goes on and on about something that's not that interesting.
Why is Wrinkly Kong a ghost? Bring her ass back to life, damn it! It's depressing!
That's the point. It's supposed to be sad.
And what's up with Candy Kong? Why does she keep changing?
Because she's supposed to be the slut.
Keep her like this! Even with a few annoyances, this game's still marvelous. It's just like Banjo-Kazooie, and you've just gotta love that DK crap. Included as a bonus is the best Donkey Kong port. And look, there's the pie level. It took 18 years, but we finally got it.
Well, the Atari 800 port had Donkey Kong, and it had all the levels in it, so I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
I think he means he likes it with the 8-bit graphics and not the 4-bit graphics.
How high can you get? Kids, say no to drugs.
They don't mean it that way.
Diddy Kong Racing, a fabulous racing game.
Not really.
Gamedude's entitled to liking Diddy Kong Racing.
Kind of just a rip-off. Like you.
Inspiration, not ripping off. Yes, he was inspired, but if you did your research on him, you'd know he only did that because he wanted to stop the trolls from hating him. Yes, I enjoy his videos, but he originally didn't give the angry video game nerd credit, thus making him an AVGN ripoff.
The imagination implemented is astonishing. Hey look, it's Science World! Donkey Kong Land 1, 2, and 3 suck. Controls are decent, but the graphics are incredibly detailed for Game Boy.
I think that's because they're trying to copy the Super Nintendo graphics but failed. That doesn't count for the still annoying tally, but something will in like less than a minute.
In fact, they're so detailed, it's hard to see through certain areas, which could be deadly. And where's the classic balloon pop? In Donkey Kong Country, when you die, you get a humorously satisfying balloon pop. But here, you get nothing.
That's because it's an 8-bit console and it can't make sounds like balloon pops.
Climbing ropes is awkward, and if you jump along an upper ledge, you have a split second to grab back on. So if you're above a pit and the rope is really short, you'll feasibly fall and die. Fuck! When you jump on rope, you keep changing positions. So when bees are flying around, you'll most likely swing into one. Fuck! Recycle! C. Why is it so hard not to change positions? 13 years after Donkey Kong came Donkey Kong. Same name, different game. So change the damn name. It continues the arcade series, and it's pretty good. I love how Mario just stands there and watches Donkey Kong take Pauline away. Must Donkey Kong do that thing with his bum? This game is extremely generous with the extra lives. Rarely will you ever get game over. 10 years after Donkey Kong came Mario vs. Donkey Kong, and it's also pretty good. Stop promoting bestiality. It's just wrong. Bestiality isn't a word. We already talked about that. Well, it kind of is. It means an animal who's in love with a human being, or a human being that's in love with an animal. And how is this another Mario vs. Donkey Kong when you only play as the mini robot Marios? Because it says March of the Minis. Duh! Read the fucking title.
Bosses are too easy, gameplay sucks.
You suck. It's not terrible.
Again, he's entitled.
Silence!
Your videos are terrible. Moving on. DK King of Swing, an unintuitive mess. The graphics are bad. The Game Boy Advance can display graphics that are superior to the Super Nintendo, yet Donkey Kong Country looks so much nicer than this garbage. Even with the two-dimensional style, they could be better. The overly simplified controls are also bad. Basically, you only use the R and L buttons, yet controlling Donkey Kong is still awkward as fuck, especially throwing rocks at enemies. And the levels are so arduous. Cheap deaths are not uncommon. It's a pain in the ass, and it all gets so dull so quickly. The biggest annoyance is that it's so easy to fall from the very top all the way down to the very bottom. DK Jungle Climber. Same game, same pain. Right in the ass. What's next? Donkey Kong Cubed? That would have been awesome, but no. Instead, we got
Donkey Konga, a damn music game.
That wasn't bad.
I refuse to repeat myself.
You play by clapping and drumming these bongos, which do kick ass, but they're so embarrassing.
Not really.
Look at me, I'm Donkey Kong!
You look so fucking stupid.
That's the point. He's trying to show how embarrassing the bongos can be at times. Or maybe he's over nitpicking again.
It's too simplistic and gets dull very quickly. Most of the songs are awesome, but you know what would have been nice? Donkey Kong Country music. But no, instead we got songs like Row, Row, Row Your Boat and The Itsy Bitsy Spider that make you feel like a little baby.
Actually, those two are part of the same song in the game, in a song called Ditties Ditties. The only other kiddie song in the game is Bingo, or at least that's what I saw, and every other song that I know of is not kiddie.
Japan got better music. Same with Donkey Kong 3. And the UK. UK got Smash Bros.
Hey, let's make a Donkey Kong music game with only one Donkey Kong song and a bunch of kitty ones for all the kitties that weren't even born when Donkey Kong Country came out. Donkey Kong 2. Same fucking game. Donkey Kong 3. Again, same fucking game. But thankfully, it was only released in Japan. Donkey Kong Jungle Beat. A true Donkey Kong game. And it rocks. Yeah, you use the bongos again, but their innovation only adds brilliance. Playing with the regular controller is just complete ass. But sometimes, even the bongos are irritating. However, the main problem is that the game gets dull after a while. So what's next? Donkey Kong Wii? No.
Donkey Kong Barrel Blast, one of the worst Donkey Kong games of all time.
It was supposed to be used with the Donkey Kong bongos, but Wii came out and they didn't release it for the GameCube.
Roshatsu stated this in her co-op commentary with Supersonic 407, and I'm going to say it here. That may explain it, but I'm sorry, it doesn't excuse it. You could have also brought up the fact that Gamedude says that you can plug bongos into the Wii.
It was supposed to come out for the GameCube to replace the canceled Donkey Kong Racing, the sequel to Diddy Kong Racing, but came out for the Wii instead. You'd assume you could play with the bongos again, but no. Even though they ride bongos, and you can plug bongos into the Wii, you can only play by shaking the Wiimote and nunchuck. You can't even play with the GameCube controller. The motion controls are cool, but really, it's like typing with mittens. The controls are horrible, and actually make me appreciate those damn bongos. Now, why are the characters so shiny? Are they covered with wax? This game could have been a classic. It would have been so much better if you could use the fucking bongos. Besides that, it's slow, the graphics stink, and it shoots rotten bananas up Donkey's ass. This game is a disgrace to the Apes' legacy. The Apes. That's his favorite word. It's a disgrace to the Apes' legacy. It's a disgrace to insert character's name. Donkey Kong made me a gamer. Not a gamer. Donkey Kong was my childhood. They hit games and posters in the background, but it doesn't make you a gamer. Yes, it does. If you play a lot of video games, that makes you a gamer.
But now he's ruined.
Well, I have heard some people say that Donkey Kong Country Returns is a game that resurrected the Donkey Kong franchise. I may have not played Donkey Kong Country Returns, but I have heard a lot about it. Again, he made his review before the game was released.
Copyright, copyright!
Do I have to go through this again? Okay, fine. He said he was inspired. There's a difference between inspiration and ripping off. In both you use someone's idea, but with inspiration you give the person credit. Ripping off is where you take someone's idea, but don't give the person credit whatsoever. Again, in his original episodes he didn't do that. He only did it so people would stop hating him.
But maybe you should have played the song at the end. Oh, that's it? Hope you were bored to death, because, I was. Now, what have we learned today? I have to admit, you've improved. Before the commentary, you knew what video to commentate on before you recorded. I will give you that. And even though you insulted Gamedude more in this commentary than you did in the Kirby commentary, that was probably because this commentary was longer and you had more chances to insult him. So, besides, you spread out the insults a bit. However, in the first parts, it sounded like you insulted him every time you got the chance, even though you insulted him less in the last parts. I currently have no more commentaries planned on this guy. I might make more commentaries on him in the future, but that is if I find more videos with commentating on. The only videos of Gamedude he's commentated on that involve games that I've actually played were the Kirby and Donkey Kong commentary, which I did. So to be honest, I haven't played most of the bad Donkey Kong games.
Hope you guys enjoyed the commentary. My next commentary will be a commentary I've really wanted to do for quite a while. Despite the fact that there was no point in remaking it, considering the fact that DJSJ103 already grabbed it in time. Now, to wrap this up. All three of you brought up some good points, but you still kind of over nitpicked. Gamedude, next time, try to do your research before you assume something, and try not to over nitpick as much. Tdak1128, don't say something's not a bad game if that's only your opinion and he says it's a bad game. And Meta, for the last time, do your research! Now that concludes the commentary, and I hope you enjoyed watching me tear myself apart. And this is Meta527ii, and I'll see you next time.